Hi everybody. I'm really excited to be able to share with you today this information that has been compiled over the last weeks. And what we're looking at today is 25 biblical reasons why this window of Passover in this Jubilee year of 5,777 may be the time of our deliverance. 25 reasons to be looking up this Passover season, okay? And we've put together this list over the last couple weeks. The Lord showed me a number of things leading me to April 7th, Nisan 11. And as I began studying this out, this window is incredible, not only based on the biblical signs showing Passover, but the specific connection to this year, which is the final year of Jubilee. So I'm really excited to be able to share this with you. And I am also going to be putting this information into a blog document. I will embed this video into that blog document, and I will leave that link with you in the description box, which will give you together the video where you can follow along in written form all the scriptural proofs that we are bringing, and so you can study this out and you can easily share all this information with one link, okay, which will have the video explanation and all the written reasons in one location. So that will be the best way. If you want to, go to the description box below this video and click on the blog document, then in that blog document you will have the video. You can watch right there as you follow along. Okay, that will be the best way for you to watch and to share this information. 25 reasons why this season of Passover may be, okay, and I'm tempted to say this is the time of our deliverance, but we've seen that so many times where we have this high desire, this high reason to make a declaration, but we are cautious with making any specific declarations. What we just want to do today is bring to the table reasons why this is a very possible, a very probable, it could be the time of our deliverance, and that this is it, and we need to be watching. So, falling short of making a specific declaration, these are the signs that I have been shown and that I'm bringing to the table based on what the Lord is showing me, okay? So let me open up my document here, and I'm going to walk you through these details, okay? Highest watch time begins with the start of the Jubilee year, Nisan 1, March 28th through 29th, 2017. This highest watch time takes us to or before Passover, April 12th. Okay, this is the complete list of signs leading us to before Passover, March 28th through April 12th, 2017, which is Nisan 1 to Nisan 14, 5777. Okay, I have 9 reasons that generally speak of the Passover season, and then I will go on to share from reason 10 through reason 25 that show us specifically Nisan 10 and Nisan 11. Okay, so first we're going to focus in on the Passover season, and then we have signs that lead us specifically to Nisan 10 and Nisan 11. Okay, the first reason, and I try to put these in the order of importance to help us see how solid the evidence is based on all the signs compiling upon one upon another. Okay, the first reason is that 2017 is Jubilee year. We can trace back the deliverance years from 2017, 1967, 1917, going back to the year 1217 and the prophecy of Judah ben Samuel. And I leave a link here how we can follow back the deliverance years, showing that 2017 is, in fact, the Jubilee year. Okay, so I leave a link here. Number 2, 2017 is not only a Jubilee year, it is the final Jubilee year based on 6,000 years from creation, 120 Jubilees, okay, 40 Jubilees from creation to the time of Christ, and 80 Jubilees from the time of Christ to the time we are living in now. Okay, and this is based on Genesis 6:3, when it says, "The Lord said, My spirit will not strive with man forever, for he is indeed flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. 120 times 50 is 6,000. Okay, we know this is not talking about a generation, because in Psalms, a generation, Psalms 90:10 confirms a generation is 70 to 80 years. Okay, so when it talks about 120 years, it's talking about the Jubilee years, the complete length of the creation, based on the 6 days of creation. 1 year is as 1,000 days. One day is as 1,000 years. Okay, 6,000 years of creation. 120 times 50 is 6,000 years. So 2017 is the final Jubilee year. Okay, number 3, 2017 is also 70 years from the order to restore Jerusalem, the Palestinian partition plan, which took place on November 29th, 1947. So we are confirmed 70 years, according to the timelines of Daniel, as well as 50 years based on the Jubilee from 1967. So we have a double fulfillment of the 70 years of Daniel from 1947 and the 50 years from the Six-Day War in 1967, leading us to 2017. Okay, and we can study that out in Daniel 9:24 through 27. 70 years are determined. 70 weeks are determined. Okay, number 4. This is also the fulfillment of the fig tree generation, based on Matthew 24:32 through 35. When you see the budding of the fig tree, okay, this generation will not pass until all these things are accomplished. And as it says in Psalms 90:10, a generation is 70 years, confirmed also by Daniel. 70 weeks or years are determined. So the fig tree generation is coming to a close from 1947 plus 70, 2017. Number 5, the Jubilee year begins in Nisan, as all years do. All years are confirmed begin in Nisan. There is no difference between, there are no two calendars. Okay, this is confirmed by Exodus 12:1 through 2, Leviticus 23, the feasts of the Lord, Passover the first month, the 7th month is the Day of Atonement. Leviticus 25 confirms that the trumpet of Jubilee is blown in the 7th month. Okay, it's never mentioned that this is the first month. It's the 7th month, the 10th day, the trumpet of Jubilee is blown on the Day of Atonement. Okay? So this confirms the calendars. Esther 3:7 confirms the calendar, again, based on, in the first month, which is the month of Nisan, they cast lots, and it came to the 12th month, which is the month of Adar. Esther 3:7 shows us first month Nisan, 12th month Adar. Okay, this is confirmed throughout the scriptures. And then Ezekiel 45:18 through 25 confirms In the vision of the millennial temple, Ezekiel talks about the feast of the Lord, Ezekiel 45, 18 through 25. And it shows the first month is Passover, and the seventh month is the month of atonement. Okay? The Jubilee trumpet blows on the 10th day of the seventh month. The Day of Atonement is Tishri 10, confirming that the year begins on Nisan 1, the first month, which has not changed since the time of Exodus 12 and the deliverance from Egypt. Okay? Note, okay, here is a note, a very important note. The idea of two calendars is not biblical. The Lord gave Moses the new calendar, and he said that this will now be the beginning of months for you. Okay, he did not establish two calendars. He did not say that now we have two calendars, a civil and a religious calendar. He said this will now be the beginning of months for you. Okay, so biblically there is only one calendar. The calendar was changed from the Genesis calendar to the Exodus calendar. And the idea of two calendars is not biblical. And the idea of Tishri being first month to decide the appointed times or the year of Jubilee is pure nonsense, traditions of men. Okay, it cannot be proven biblically that Tishri somehow would be the beginning of the Jubilee year. That is not biblical, and you would have to come up with your own biblical text, okay, to show how that would be possible. Okay. So, number 6, Amos. The book of Amos, chapter 8, talks about the end coming upon Israel at the time of the summer fruit, and says specifically, I will not pass over them again. Okay? I will not pass over them again. So we're talking about the time of the end. The time of the end of Israel. It's the time of the summer fruit, the basket of summer fruit, which is the unleavened bread and the first fruits, the spring calendar. It's the first harvest, the summer fruit, and then it specifically talks about Passover. And this is confirmed because Amos 8 goes on to talk about the crucifixion when it says, in verses 9 and 10, it says, the sun will go dark at noonday as the morning for an only sun. Okay, so we have the solar eclipse or the darkening of the sun at noon, and it's the time of the morning for an only son, the only begotten son. At his crucifixion, the sun went dark at noon. Okay, so this is a confirmation that we are talking about Passover. So when it says, I will not pass over them again, the end has come at the time of the summer fruit. Okay, so this is another scripture that leads us to his coming, possibly at the time of Passover. Number 7, Jesus said, he will not drink this cup again until he drinks it with his disciples in the kingdom. Okay, he drank the cup with his disciples on Passover. He said he wouldn't drink it again with them until he comes. Okay, so does this speak of the wedding feast at Passover, that this was the big feast that he desired to eat with his disciples, and that he desires to eat it again anew in his kingdom when his kingdom comes on Passover? So this is another sign that talks about the Passover season. Number 8, the Lord's Supper is always to be celebrated, remembering his death and anticipating his coming until he comes. Does this also show that we can expect his return in the Passover season? It says, whenever you do this in memory of me. And then it says in 1 Corinthians 11, 23 through 26, especially in verse 26, it says, so whenever we do this, we announce his death until he comes. So it's talking about the anticipation of his coming, at the same time we remember his death that was on Passover. Okay. Number 9. The Song of Solomon shows a springtime taking away, the wedding, as the fig tree buds and as the grapes give their wine. Song of Solomon 2, 10 through 13 talks about a springtime taking away, the flowers are coming, the fig tree is budding and giving its fruit, and as the grapes give their wine, which is a reference to Passover. The grapes and the of wrath, the blood of the grapes and the wine, that was the blood of Jesus shed on the cross of Calvary at Passover. So that's number 9. Now, okay, from 10 on, we have specific signs that are leading us to Nisan 10 and 11. These are biblical signs, and this would be Nisan 10 and 11, April 6th through 8th, 2017. I have 15 signs that have been put together that lead us biblically to Nisan 10 and 11 as the appointed time for his coming, which is what we are watching for. Okay, number 10. From Exodus 12 and the establishment of the new calendar with Nisan as the first month, the first day recorded is the 10th day of the first month. Nisan 10, Exodus 12, 1 through 3, when it says, on the 10th day of the month, you will set aside. Okay? You will set aside. So this is the time to set aside, okay, the Passover lamb. Okay, so this is the first day mentioned in the new calendar from Exodus 12, Nisan 10. Number 11. The children of Israel entered the promised land on Nisan 10. Joshua 4:19 says that on the 10th day of the first month, the children of Israel crossed the Jordan. They set up the 12 stones there, and this was their memory stones that they should always remember their entrance into the promised land, and the date of that entrance was Nisan 10. Okay? That's an important sign. Number 12. The triumphal entry of Jesus was Nisan 10. It's the same day that the Passover lamb was set aside. It's the same day they entered into the promised land, and now the triumphal entry of Jesus was this same day, Nisan 10. So these signs are building upon each other, giving us a symbolism of possibly when we can expect the second coming or the rapture of the church, right? And Nisan 10. And this is confirmed then by the vision of Ezekiel, number 13. Ezekiel's vision of the new millennium city and temple was received on Nisan 10. Ezekiel 41 says that at the beginning of the year, on the 10th day of the month. Okay, that is the beginning of the year, the first month. The 10th day of the month is Nisan 10. Ezekiel received his vision of the new millennium city and the new temple. Okay, so we have this connection between the promised land, the triumphal entry, the first coming of Jesus, and the second coming, or the beginning of the millennial reign, based on the date of Ezekiel's vision. That is number 13. Number 14. Ezekiel, in the vision of Ezekiel, in the same chapters of Ezekiel, this vision of Ezekiel was Ezekiel 40 through 48. That's the entire vision of the new temple and the new city. And then in Ezekiel 48, it says, the Lord is here, or the Lord is there, Jehovah Shammah. And that's the name of the Lord in Ezekiel 48:13. And but in Ezekiel 46:17, he mentions the importance of the Jubilee year. The possession of the people of the prince that will take place at the time of Jubilee, at the year of liberty. It mentions the year of liberty, That term, that form of using it, year and liberty, is only shown twice. It's Leviticus 25:10 and Ezekiel 46:17. If you do the search, year of liberty, in the King James, it only appears twice. Ezekiel's vision of the new millennium, and in the year of Jubilee, that is confirmed in Leviticus 25:10. And it says here that if he gives a gift of some of his inheritance to one of his servants, it shall be his until the year of liberty. So Ezekiel's vision shows the importance of the year of liberty, and he received his vision on Nisan 10. So this is an amazing connection from the book of Ezekiel. Number 15, the 69 weeks of Daniel were fulfilled on Nisan 10 when Jesus entered Jerusalem on a donkey. This was exactly 483 years to the day from the order of Artaxerxes to Nehemiah to rebuild Jerusalem. This fulfilled the 69 weeks of Daniel to the first coming, according to Daniel 9:24 through 27, that from the order to restore Jerusalem, there shall be 69 weeks. Okay? So 69 weeks, 69 years times 7 years is 483 years. 483 years to the day the 69 weeks of Daniel were fulfilled on 10 Nisan. Okay, so is this a sign showing us, okay, the 69 weeks ended? Will the 70th week begin where the 69th week left off? Is this the sign that we should be looking for? That Nisan 10, Nisan 11 will be the continuation of the calendar of Daniel? Okay. Number 16. Connected together with the triumphal entry in the time of his visitation in the 69 weeks of Daniel. In verse 16, Jesus said, "You will not see me again until you can say, 'Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord.'" Okay? Jesus said, "You will not see me again until you can say, 'Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord.'" This was spoken on Nisan 10 at the triumphal entry. Okay? You will not see me again until the triumphal entry, until the day that it is said, "Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." And so I have here the link to the Bible search, "Blessed is he who comes." Okay? And this also brings to light the connection with the timelines of Daniel, because Daniel 12:12 said, "Blessed is he who waits and comes to the 1,335 days." So we see how the timelines of Daniel will be connected to the revelation of the triumphal entry, which was exactly the perfect fulfillment of the 69 weeks of Daniel at the triumphal entry. So this is not a stretch by any means. This is biblical revelation and the confirmation. How we can see the timelines of Daniel connected to the triumphal entry. Blessed is he who comes, waits and comes to the 1,335 days. Number 17. Okay, we still have 8 more reasons to go over here. Nisan 11 is the 11th day of the first month, which is first month, 11th day. So we have 111, which is to many another rapture sign. People seeing all the time 111 or 1111, and everybody wondering, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? Is this a sign of rapture somehow? So Nisan 11 is 111. Okay. Number 18. Nisan 11, April 7th, is 77 days from the Trump inauguration. Okay. At the inauguration, Donald Trump was 70 years old, 7 months, and 7 days. We're looking at the year 5777. And from the inauguration to the triumphal entry is 77 days. So we have all these sevens that are leading us to Nisan 10, Nisan 11. Okay, and then I have some information about Nisan 11 events, and what I want to show you here is how that the Nisan 10 events are marking the glory, and Nisan 11 events are marking the judgment. Nisan 10 is the glory. Nisan 11 is the judgment. Okay, here we have the Nisan 10 events. We have the entrance into the promised land. We have the triumphal entry. And we have Ezekiel's vision of the new millennium. Okay, now we have the Nisan 11 events, which is the cursing of the fig tree, the cleansing of the temple, which is judgment, and Jesus weeping over Jerusalem. Okay, so we see this connection between Nisan 10, the glory, and Nisan 11 is the judgment, which is exactly what will happen at the time of his coming. Those who are ready will go to the glory. Those who are not will be judged and will enter into the great tribulation. Okay, and this is a connection here that we have on these 2 days. No man knows the day and the hour, but this is why God gives us a window of time to watch with all the signs, the biblical signs that can help lead us and help us understand. And it's also helping us understand the importance of preparing our lives, because we want the triumphal entry, but we have to take into consideration the fig tree and the trees that don't bear fruit will be cursed. The cleansing of the temple, those that do not keep their lives clean before the Lord, because we need to be cleansed. And then Jesus weeping over Jerusalem because the people could not see the signs and were not ready, did not understand the time of his coming. Okay, so the 19, 20, and 21 are the 3 Nisan 11 events. The cursing of the fig tree is 19. Number 20 is the cleansing of the temple, was Nisan 11. And number 21, Nisan 11, was Jesus weeps over Jerusalem. Number 22. Reason number 22 why this window of this Passover season in the beginning of this Jubilee year is the highest watch time we have ever seen, and is probably the time of our deliverance. Number 22, when Jesus wept over Jerusalem on Nisan 11, he made reference to the fact that the Jews should have known the time of their deliverance. They should have known. He said this in 2 ways in Luke 19:41 through 44. He says, if you had known, even you, especially in this your day, especially on this day, you should have seen it. Especially on this day, you should have known the fulfillment of Daniel's 69 weeks. You should have been watching for my coming, especially on this your day. If you had known the things that make for your peace, but they are now hidden from your eyes, you did not see. And then he goes on to say it in another way, because you did not know the time of your visitation. Okay. So Jesus on Nisan 11, as he weeps over Jerusalem, speaks about this exact day in 2 ways. In this your day and the time of your visitation. Okay, so this is the time they should have been watching at the first coming, and the people did not see it. Is this the time that we should be watching for the second coming? Okay, the same time frame, and this is the way the Lord is giving the patterns, the biblical patterns. Okay, number 23. Jesus cleansed the temple 2 times, at the beginning and at the end of his ministry. In John chapter 2, after the wedding, okay, here's another connection between the wedding and the cleansing of the temple, the triumphal entry and the cleansing of the temple. Okay, John chapter 2, it shows that at the beginning of his ministry, Jesus cleansed the temple. So we have two cleansings of the temple. And I have reason to believe that first cleansing was also on the same day. Nisan 11, we have two clues in John chapter 2 that says that Passover was nigh, so we were right there. And then he says that if you destroy this temple in 3 days, I will build it up. So we have 3-day connection to Passover, Nisan 11 to Nisan 14. So we have two cleansings of the temple on Nisan 11. And then this will coincide, okay, this leads us now to the connection to the Obama timeline from 2013 and the abomination of desolation happening on the same date, Nisan 11. The abomination of desolation taking place on Nisan 11 is the counter event. It's the counter event to the cleansing of the temple. Okay, the abomination of desolation is exact opposite of the cleansing of the temple. It's the defilement of the temple, the abomination of desolation. Okay, and so we have the connection of Barack Obama in Israel. On March 22nd, 2013, he defiled the holy place, the birthplace of Jesus Christ, going into the birthplace of Jesus Christ, the Church of the Nativity, and standing where he ought not to stand, did not bow, did not show reverence, did not give glory to the Son of God, or for that matter to his mother, Mary. He did not give any recognition or praise or glory to the Son of God. Okay, so he stood. This was an abomination because he should have shown respect. Okay, so this would mean we would be watching again for a 4-year fulfillment from 2013 to 2017. Jesus cleansed the temple 2 times on Nisan 11, so the abomination of desolation is a 2-time event that will be fulfilled. And so we are watching, and I put out a video showing why we should be watching for Barack Obama to visit Israel again, April 6th to 7th, 2017. Nisan 10 and 11, will this be the final abomination as Israel receives the false Messiah? Okay. After Barack Obama has already divided Jerusalem with the vote at the United Nations, will they somehow forget everything that has already been done, the way that Barack Obama has betrayed Israel, the way he's made the deal with Iran, the way he's given nuclear weapons and all the power and the money that is needed for Iran to extinguish Israel based on all the nuclear, the deal they have, the nuclear deal, and all the money that was given to Iran. So will Israel forget everything that Barack Obama has done? Will they somehow turn against the promise of God to Abraham, that through his seed the Messiah would come? And now what we have is the false Messiah. After everything that Barack Obama has done to betray Israel, what will they do? What will they do? So this is number 23. The 2 cleansings of the temple leads to the abomination of desolation 2 times, Nisan 11. Okay, this is confirmed. Number 24, this time frame of 4 years from 2013 to 2017 is the exact time frame given in the parable of the fig tree. In Luke 13, 6 through 9, Jesus talks about, I will tell you a parable of a fig tree. A man saw the fig tree. It had no fruit on it. He waited 3 years. He was going to cut down the tree after 3 years. And then there was an intercessor who said, give us 1 more year. And then 4 years. So we have 3 years plus 1 year. 4 years of the fig tree, then the fig tree was cursed on Nisan 11. So we have the biblical connection to Nisan 11, 4 years, the timeline of Barack Obama, and this upcoming window that for me is, this is a prophetic understanding. So, when it's all said and done, how did I know, or how could I understand that this is what we should be looking for? Barack Obama will go back to Israel on April 6th and 7th, 2017, to fulfill the abomination of desolation, the counter event to the cleansing of the temple. Okay, and then number 25 is the 42 months of the Antichrist. Okay, the 42 months of the Antichrist. If you take out, we know that the Great Tribulation, for those who believe that the Great Tribulation will be 7 years, then we have the double fulfillment of will it be trumpets and then atonement, 7 years? But then we have the Bible text that shows us that that he will be given power to continue for 42 months. So we have a 42-month timeline, which we need to consider as the time of the war on the saints for 42 months. Will that be the time of Great Tribulation, 42 months? Well, if you do the calculation from Nisan 10, anytime you go Nisan 10 plus 42 months, 1,260 days, you will always come to the Feast of Trumpets. So this time frame from Nisan 10 to the Feast of Trumpets will always mark 1,260 days, 42 months, which is a sign to us of the timing of the Great Tribulation and the second coming, which would be the Feast of Trumpets. Nisan 10, start of Great Tribulation, and the Feast of Trumpets, the second coming. Okay? So, now, to end this video, I've given you 25 reasons why this window is an amazing window and is probably the time of our deliverance. Okay, right here at the end, I mentioned the 42 months of the Antichrist, and I don't want to leave a confusion here for people to think that tribulation will somehow be 7 years or will somehow be 3.5 years. Based on all the understanding that I have received, and I'm sharing with you, 2017 is still the end of the Great Tribulation based on a number of details. So what we're looking at is Nisan 10 will be the start of the Great Tribulation. If this happens the way we see it happening, and I'm not saying this is absolute, I'm saying this is what I'm seeing, and this would be the reason that I was given this understanding that when the Great Tribulation would start, so that people could also see that the length of the Great Tribulation is not 7 years, it's not 3.5 years, it's only 6 months. And that the sign of Revelation 12 on September 23rd, that great, miraculous, glorious, amazing, once in 7,000 year sign in the heavens, is the heralding in of the second coming of Jesus Christ. And that's why that glory is in that sign, that one amazing sign that comes on the Feast of Trumpets of 2017. Okay, so here are the biblical reasons that the Great Tribulation will end on the Feast of Trumpets 2017, approximately 6 months of Great Tribulation, and that the sign of Revelation 12 marks the second coming. On September 23rd, 2017, that marks the Feast of Trumpets and the second coming. Okay? The Bible says this: these days will be shortened. Okay? We need to understand that we were already shown that the time of the Antichrist is 42 months. Jesus still says these days will be shortened. Matthew 24:22. Daniel 9:24, that shows that from the order to restore Jerusalem, 70 weeks are determined. Okay, so 1947 plus 70 is 2018. and 17. Okay? Number 3, 70 weeks to the second coming from the 1947 order is 70 years. That means the last week or the last year is 1 year. Okay, at the first coming, it was 69 times 7, 483 years. So we're looking at a 7-year period, but the final fulfillment of Daniel's prophecy is a 70-year period confirmed by one generation, the fig tree generation. So 70 years with 69 years, okay, this was already fulfilled, the 69 years was already fulfilled based on the order to restore Jerusalem in 1947 and then the order to divide Jerusalem on the same day, 69 years to the day, November 30th, 2016, 69 years to the day was already fulfilled. So what we have left then is 1 year, the 70th week or the 70th year, and it's not even a full year now. It's been reduced to 6 months. These days are shortened. Okay? Then Revelation 12:12 says, the devil has come down to you. He knows he has a short time. Okay? Time refers to year. Time, times, and half a time is 3.5 years. When it uses the word time, it refers to 1 year. And here it says a short time, which means less than 1 year. Okay, then we have all these other confirmations. The time of Jacob's trouble, which means the year of Jacob's trouble. Time means 1 year. The day of the Lord. I mean, it talks about the day of the Lord as 1 day. Somehow we turn that into 7 years, but the day of the Lord. It also says the year of his vengeance, the time of Jacob's trouble, the time of the Gentiles. Okay, and so at the end here, I'm giving you a link of a document and a video that I had already done previously. All the references to 1 year as the time of great tribulation. It is repeated over and over that the time of great tribulation is 1 year. Okay? There's many, many biblical confirmations to this. That would be another study in and of itself that I can't get into right here because I've already documented that. But I leave this link, this very important link, so people can understand that the time of great tribulation, if it does begin in this window before Passover, we are looking at 6 months of great tribulation. And this is a great hope to those who are alive during this time, who are left behind, and who want to survive. I mean, 3.5 years, 7 years would be an overwhelming time that will cause many to maybe even commit suicide because they can't survive or they can't. But if they're trying to hold out 6 months, then this is a time that will give people hope that the time that they need to try to stay alive in the wilderness or wherever, And Jesus said, pray that your flight not be in winter. So this is another way that the Lord is showing his mercy, that in the majority of the world, these months are summer months. Okay, this is the summer, and this is much easier for people to survive in the wilderness, in the cold. I mean, it would be nearly impossible. But this summertime in the majority of the world is also another way that the Lord has shown his mercy for those who are left behind and will end up out in the wilderness. Okay, so I have shared today 25 reasons why this upcoming window of Passover is most likely the time of our deliverance. Okay, I cannot say this 100%, but these are the biblical signs, and to me, this is why we should have high anticipation. The Bible says, look up. Okay, so we look up for our redemption. And then another way to say that, when Jesus said, look up, is look it up, okay? Study to show thyself approved. Find out when is the time. Look up the time of your redemption. Look it up. Study it out. Okay, and this is what the Lord has given to me, to be able to study this out, to be able to share with you, okay, the signs of his coming revealed, okay. The Lord gave me a call to share this. And I believe, I truly believe in my heart of hearts that this is it. I believe it. I have believed that before the signs come and they seem so strong, but this is really, really amazing. This is amazing, this conjunction of signs. So I leave this with you in the love of Christ and wanting to spur the people of God worldwide to look up now that this is the time of Jubilee, the beginning of the Jubilee year. Our time of redemption has come. This is the appointed time. Okay. I love you guys. I pray you are blessed in the name of Christ. Amen.